Hello again and welcome back. This is the final part of Lesson 11, this diabetes control course, and it's the fifth step of the 6 steps to gaining complete control over diabetes. So, part 12, you're going to continue the process of losing weight. So let's discover how it all works and how you can take charge of it. By now, you're taking a multivitamin, you're hydrated, you're exercising regularly, you've eliminated all processed foods, especially wheat, corn, soy, and pork and dairy especially. You're no longer eating dairy except in very small portions of possibly cottage cheese. It's really even better if you don't. You no longer drink sodas and colas. You no longer consume artificial sweeteners, and you're limiting alcohol. All of these things you started doing in earlier videos. But now you significantly reduced the candida, yeast, fungi, and parasite population when you started step number 1. You also cut your carbohydrate intake to around 40 grams a day. That should have by itself shown significant improvements. Most diabetics find that their neutral zone is between 40 and 50 grams of carbohydrates each and every day. That means you don't eat any more than 40 or 50 grams of carbs a day, and that's all your body really needs. So now you'll slowly begin reducing your carbohydrate, approximately 3 to 5 grams per day. Mix it up a little, never the same every day, and until you get well below the 40 to 50 grams. You're going to significantly decrease the insulin volume that is produced because you're eating so much less, and you're increasing the glycogen volume because of the exercise. This will cause your body to begin to draw from the fat stores to supply your 37 trillion cells with fat for fuel instead of glucose, because the glucose is no longer readily available. And you will need to force yourself to use a food log every single day. MyFitnessPal.com is an app that's free. You can download it to your computer or your phone. I have no affiliation with them, but I know that app works. It's exceptionally powerful. And that's the only way you're going to know if you are only eating 40 grams of carbohydrates each day, or whatever your goal is. So again, eat only low glycemic index foods. Weigh yourself every morning. It's not necessarily going to show any changes. Exercise can cause you to lose volume without losing weight. But the most important thing is that you're going to program your subconscious mind to help you focus on following the program. Every time you go to the refrigerator, your subconscious mind is going to remind you of what your weight was that morning. So your mind is going to be very vigilant and diligent in keeping you on track. So calculate your ideal weight. The easiest way is just to go online and determine that, or stop the video on the next slide to find your ideal weight on the table. As long as there is sufficient amounts of carbohydrates available for fuel, your body is not going to draw from your fat stores, and it is not going to burn the excess fat, and there won't be excess fatty acids in the bloodstream for the oxygen to work on. So however vigorous exercise will increase that activity. So this is the table. You can stop the video and find your height in feet on the left-hand side, or in inches, and then go across, and there's 3 different scales. Many use the last one on the right-hand side. You'll find your ideal weight, and you can also see what your ideal BMI is also going to be. So part of the strategy for weight loss is going to include reducing the intake of carbohydrates to encourage your body, to force your body to pull fat out of the fat cells. Instead of storing the fat in your body's going to be burning it. And because there's less glucose, your glycogen hormone is going to be pushing your fat cells to release fatty acids that is going to be broken down by the oxygen in your bloodstream because of that vigorous exercise that you're doing every single day. So burning fat is actually healthy for you, and for diabetics especially. Once a diabetic reaches a healthy weight, their system can continue to work in their favor to keep them slim. So first of all, your body needs a healthy fat every day, so you are going to use extra virgin olive oil is going to provide for that need of healthy fat every day. It's going to allow your body to absorb, store, and utilize those fat-soluble vitamins, and low or no-fat diets force you to rely upon carbohydrates and proteins. So too much protein is not going to be beneficial. So burning fat can often stop metabolic syndrome, which is pre-diabetes, and for some, reverse diabetes for those that haven't suffered significant amounts of damage. Essentially, you're going to be forcing your body to switch into a fat-burning mode of metabolism by simply cutting those carbs and providing those healthy forms of fat to burn in your diet. There's a common misconception that low-fat diets are necessary for weight loss. That is not actually true. Studies have found the reverse, that a low-carbohydrate, high-fat diet is actually more effective than just a low-carb diet alone. So studies have shown that restricted carbohydrate diets, which are in the neighborhood of 26 to 30 grams a day, without necessarily restricting the calories, along with exercise, which is critical, you can significantly reduce insulin resistance by a whopping 75% in as little as a couple of weeks. So it also significantly reduces your fatty liver, which is going to slowly cause that insulin resistance to go away. So the carbohydrate restriction also impacts triglycerides and the LDL cholesterol, and the elevated protein consumption will lower blood pressure, reduce the triglycerides, increase the HDL cholesterol levels. Your focus will be on regulating your carbs in that 20 to 30 grams per day range. Eating a high fiber diet is critically important, and proteins in a healthy fat diet. Your focus is going to be on eating the right kind of carbs, low glycemic index. Insulin resistance makes you intolerant to glucose and starches. The body cells are forced to begin burning fat acids as fuel, which is inefficient, and it causes the production of large amounts of acidic toxins, which are known as ketones. Your focus is going to be on regulating your carbs, that 26 to 30 grams per day. Eating a high fiber diet, again with proteins and a healthy fat, is very, very important. So again, your focus is going to be eating low glycemic index only. Proteins are important because they provide the essential amino acids, those that your body can't manufacture, and it needs to construct tissue and nerves and enable cognitive function and balance your pH. Protein also is satiating in that you moderate your hunger. It reduces your appetite. It helps you manage your blood sugar and minimize your muscle tissue loss. You're going to focus on eating between 4 and 6 ounces of protein each time you eat a meal. That's 12 to 18 cooked ounces per day, or more if you're very active, but the number is not very real critical. So you're going to be seeking to find the minimum number of carbohydrates that you can eat each day to achieve that 2 to 3 pounds per week weight loss without losing it too fast and cause your hypothalamus to shut down your metabolism. Initially, you're going to drop your carbohydrate intake daily to approximately 20 grams, but never go below that per day. By maintaining a 2 to 3 pound week loss, you can achieve that by raising or lowering your carb intake until you settle at that 2 pound per week level and balance your proteins and fats. You accomplish several important things when you do that. You slowly reprogram your body set points downward. You're going to force your body into a fat-burning metabolism mode. You're going to minimize insulin production or insulin requirements. You're going to gain control over your appetite, your hunger, and food cravings. You're going to remain energetic and alert. You're going to increase your blood sugar control significantly, and you're going to prevent damage to your liver and reduce fatty acid or fatty liver and insulin resistance. You're going to continue to follow this regime until you're within about 10 pounds of your ideal weight. Once you're within that 10 pounds, you can slowly start to increase your carbohydrate intake, roughly again 3 to 5 grams per day. But if you start to stop losing weight or start to gain, then back off again and keep going. Then repeat that process until you find your body's comfort level for carbohydrates, which you're going to find is around 40 grams a day. Your blood sugar and your weight are going to stabilize. The final 10 pounds will come off during this final part of the process. And if the weight loss stalls, back off until you reach your goal again. Remember that you will be using net carb values. That means net carbs is carbohydrates minus the fiber. And the key is to maintain your optimal level for at least a month. Play it safe, go several months, and maintain your goal weight as tightly as you can to make absolutely certain that your set points have been changed to your new level. Then focus on forming eating habits that are going to support and maintain that new level. Be vigilant and pressures that there are going to be pressures to slowly increase your consumption volume or consuming high glycemic index foods. The world is full of temptations. Even just temporarily breaking your routine is easy to justify. Remember that the excess glucose and that excess volume is going to immediately start to rebuild those fat stores. It's all in the glucose and insulin. So thank you so very much for watching this video lesson, and please pay it forward. Share what you learned with